Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Double D's in the evening. Still 97.1, without beating around the bush too much.
I'm gonna be fair.
I had nothing for that. The bush is on fucking fire right now.
I feel as if the bush is already burned away. It's literally just like ash.
I've been a Smash caster for 7 years, and I've felt that way sometimes. And then I go to one of those events, and like a lot of people, start talking to me like family again, and whatnot. And I got this. Yeah, some. I'm not friends with everybody. I'm not gonna pretend that I am, but I got this job because of that shit, Dennis. Yeah. I can't say that I regret my time in Smash, though I do very much regret the amount of time I put into it for sure. It's kind of like that girlfriend that I loved for so long, and that I wound up wasting my entire 20s with. Basically, and you don't leave her because you're too scared to start anew.
Yeah, you're just too comfortable.
I don't know anything else.
Yeah,
that's what Smash Brothers is to me. It's my abusive but beautiful girlfriend that I wasted my whole 20s with.
Who also occasionally
occasionally
touches kids.
Yeah, good joke. That was really clever. Yeah, how long did it take you to come up with that one?
It'll always be a good joke, David. I'm sorry.
It's not, though. It's like, it's so fucking bottom of the barrel.
It's bottom of the barrel, but bro, it's honestly just become like almost intrinsically attached to your community.
Look, just because we legit had another top player get canceled like 2 months ago for doing some weird fucked up shit, that doesn't mean like...
Oh, I'm not saying everybody
just
is.
Because we had another one like
you just have them. You have them amidst yourselves.
Just because we had another one 2 months before that, too. I'm not even kidding. I'm literally not. And like before that doesn't mean
we all touch children, okay?
And regardless of how you feel about
sometimes we like to touch men. Like actual men.
I mean, that's why Captain Zack got canceled.
Oh, what? Did he like touch a guy without consent?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that dude was an actual rapist. But he was a child, so he thought he could get away with it.
Oh,
and he played the victim and shit. Like he was legit like top 5 shittiest human beings that have ever been involved in Smash. Like
grabs someone's ass and is just like goes on camera afterwards. I'm so sorry, but I did nothing wrong. The ass was asking to be grabbed.
If we learned anything last week, is that every now and again, and there will be a dude that just does not care about the other person's sexuality.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking creepy.
Yeah.
Only difference is that this wasn't an old man. This was like a 15-year-old kid who was just the most cock-hungry little fucking piece of shit that has ever existed. A literal cock goblin, dude. Oh my god. The point is, why are we talking about this? What's going on? It is Tuesday nights, my dudes.
Tuesday, October 24th.
Yes, and the Smash community is on fucking fire. And the reason it is on fire is because, as of today, Nintendo of Japan, then Europe, and then America, has dropped some brand new community tournament guidelines regarding competitive gaming in Nintendo's events. Not just Smash, to say the least, but also Splatoon, who has received like a lot of brunt's ends of Nintendo's wrath on from time to time as well regarding these things.
Jesus.
And I want to preface this by saying I'm not defending Nintendo when I say this. I do think people are freaking out a little too much before I even start talking about this. I have been in the scene for a long time. I have witnessed the death of Smash many times.
The so-called, the fabled.
And I personally believe that as long as a bunch of sweaty, dumb gamers want to play a video game in a room together, no corporation or anything can kill that, ever.
But now, that said corporation has decided to intervene after, let's say, how many years of basically saying, fuck y'all and your community. So,
it wouldn't be the first time, Dennis. I like to think that Nintendo waits for me to start working for them before they start doing some shit to cuck the Smash community again. I don't know if you remember, but back in October of 2020, this was when the whole free Melee and free Smash movement first came around, because that was in the middle of COVID, and the Big House, which is a major Smash Brothers tournament, got cease and desisted by Nintendo because they were using Slippy, which is the rollback netcode emulator for Melee. Nintendo does not like emulation
just modded anything
ever. Yeah. And so they shut it down when we couldn't even meet to play with people. And that was when the month I started working for them again. And then 3 years later, this shit goes down. It's almost like they want... It's almost like they want people to think that I wasn't joking when I went to Smash tournaments and told everybody I was a sleeper agent. And that I was gonna, like, shut all this shit down eventually. Because I do that at Smash tournaments. Because I think it's funny. I just go around and I'm just... Because people know I work for... People knew I work for Nintendo seasonally, and I'm just like, yeah, wouldn't it be funny if I was like... Wouldn't you do? Shut up. Wouldn't it be funny if, like, this whole thing was just a fucking act?
And like I was seasonally like jump scare agent. People. You just seasonally jump scare people.
And they're like, yeah, that would be hilarious. And I'm like, ha, 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 ha. And I just suddenly stop laughing. And I get I give them a real serious look, Dennis, like on my fucking face. I'm just like, yeah.
And you slowly just put up your phone and just show them like the new community tournament guidelines. And it's like that scene from like SpongeBob where like the cops like show the wanted poster to Patrick. He's like, oh, put it away, it's awful. Oh, like, horrible.
There's a lot of people in the Smash community that want to tell them to calm the fuck down. It is just a drawing. There's a lot of people.
Calm down, son. It's just a drawing.
I mean, dude, everybody is suddenly a lawyer while they have like anime profile pics on Twitter. I can't help but make light of the situation. I'm sorry. Okay?
I mean, like,
I'm
come on,
sorry,
man.
but when people pretend it's like fucking Charlie Kelly talking about bird law. It's like, that's how I feel, dude. Alright, but forgive me, I use humor to make light of situations that may seem very serious to other people. So if you're somebody who is actually being affected by this, like a tournament organizer who is freaking out about your livelihood, I do understand. It does kind of reinforce my notion that I do believe, mostly yes because of Nintendo, and also the esports bubble just in generally bursting, we're not ready for this to be a full-time thing for anyone yet. I've been saying that forever, that Smash is a glorified internship. And again, in part because of Nintendo. But I kind of just... me and Dennis are one of those guys that not just use humor to cope, but also we like to laugh at like things about the world burning sometimes. And
because it's absurd. The world's absurd.
Me and Dennis, like, we don't grant serenity for the things we can't change. You know what I mean? Because Nintendo is fucking Nintendo. They're bigger than you. They're bigger than us. Their power is immense.
You could even argue they're bigger than Japan. I'm actually like being kind of serious about that.
They are one of the 3 Japanese companies that are set to be bailed out if anything happens. They're one of the 3 biggest companies that carry Japan. One is Nintendo. The other is Toyota. And I forget what the last one is. It's not a car company. It's some other fucking company. I don't remember what it is.
Sony. It's got to be Sony.
Maybe.
No, I think it's definitely Sony. Like, Sony, I think, at this point, is just way too big to fail. Even,
I don't remember.
Japan.
There was a former Nintendo retail ambassador who worked at the Nintendo New York store who was telling me about some of that stuff and what it was like to work at that place. And we're going to get into the nitty-gritty here. We're sort of beyond the intro. The community tournament guidelines have dropped today as we are recording this. The American one has come out. It started with the Japanese one, then the European one. We all, knew it was just going to follow suit. Publication date October 24th, and the effective date says November 15th. And people are freaking out, calling it the death of Smash. We're not going to be able to host tournaments no more. We have to beat around the bush for all of Nintendo's guidelines for everything, like bow down to Big Daddy Nintendo. Otherwise, they're just going to literally shut us down, as they have cease and desisted stuff before. I personally am one to believe that if they cannot cease and desist every single Smash tournament without insane public backlash, I do believe it would impact the common man at that point. I remember being in a Nintendo store in a Target one day and like hearing these 2 girls who were buying a game talk all sorts of shit about Nintendo and how much they fucking suck after they shut down the big house and whatnot, and they didn't know there was a Nintendo employee standing literally a foot away from them. At the time, which is kind of funny.
Who also shared their opinion, too.
For the most part, yeah. Mm-hmm. And, so, I just want to preface that with saying I'm laughing about this because I'm a bit of an optimist. I really don't think Nintendo can enforce this shit. Are they gonna fucking come into locals and take our goddamn CRTs away from them? Or is like a cop gonna come in and do that? That's insane. That's not even just a matter of legal jargon. That's actual fascist shit. I will go on par to say that is legit. We want you to do things our way, and we will legit arrest you for that. I think people are blowing it out of proportion. Like, these licenses and these rules and stuff are things that actually do exist for other professional circuits and whatnot. Capcom has them for their their Street Fighter tournaments. I do believe NetherRealm has some rules in place as well. So Nintendo has never supported competitive Smash. It's always been very, very grassroots. They also tried to have a Melee pulled from EVO way back in the day, Dennis, in EVO 2013. But the Brawl community was actually able to rally to help get that game back in. And the backlash was so intense against Nintendo, they backed off. And then EVO 2013 became one of the biggest and most influential Smash Brothers tournaments of all time. They have a history of, like, not even just not wanting to support competitive Smash, which is their own prerogative. Yeah. And as much as I love Smash Brothers, as much as I love competitive Smash, let's be honest, it's kind of cringe sometimes. The community, I kind of don't blame Nintendo for not wanting to touch it with a 10-foot pole sometimes, but what I do blame them for is trying to shut the shit down. Because that's different. It's like a bully in school, basically, where you stay away from each other, the teachers tell you to stay away, but then they just, even though they don't like each other, like, the bully just keeps coming back.
Every now and then he like passes you in the hallway and he shoves you into the locker. Not every day, but like, every now and then he does just like remind you. It's like, hey, by the way, and just shoves you into the locker.
Essentially the jargon that we got going on here. Yes. We're not going to read this entire document, of course. Like, we're not going to sit here and like do like that, Andy Kaufman shit where like he'll like have like a comedy show and then instead he just read like entire works of literature to his audience. I'd be so pissed if I was in one of those crowds back then, like, and it just got baited. He's just sitting there like, did you not know that? He did that back in the day. Comedian Andy Kaufman would troll entire audiences by, like, having people come to his stand-up show, and he would just read entire works of literature to them for the show. And that was it. He would just sit there and be like, and so, bolts against the current. Like, it's actual insane. He was a very interesting mind. But anyway, we're beating around the bush too much. Yeah. Bush is on fire. We gotta start putting this out a little bit. I'm just going to read the intro here. This says, thank you for sharing your passion for Nintendo's games, characters, and worlds. Nintendo cares about the community and would like to support individuals who want to celebrate that passion by creating memorable cooperative and competitive play experiences. Some big words, alright. At the same time, we want to ensure that fans who are doing so are engaging with our games, characters, and worlds in a way that positively supports our fans, players, and Nintendo. Which sounds like super duper corporate jargon to me, like we want you to do this, like Disney shit, we want you to do this our way and we're bigger than you so we'll enforce it. But at the same time, like Smash doesn't operate like how the real world does. It wasn't until like The Reckoning back in 2020 when like all the people were getting canceled that we realized maybe we shouldn't be letting minors fucking stay with like grown-ass adults at these places and shit. And whatnot, maybe it's inappropriate. Again, in that world, if I was Nintendo, I wouldn't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole either. Yeah. Not defending them. I'm just saying, Smash, in a big way, doesn't operate like how the real world does. Back in the 5th episode of this podcast, actually, we talked about that when Ralphie X got canceled. And we mentioned, like, when minors go to concerts, they have to have the wristbands and shit, or have an adult with them. And Smash is just very individualistic. There are all these different organizations that run events. It's not like one giant governing body. It's the unique thing about it. It's very grassroots. And the lack of money means tournament organizers have to be experts on like those sexual harassment like issues and stuff. And they're not going to be. They don't got the money for that. They don't have the schooling or education for that. It's what happens when you don't have developer corporate backing, and is why I personally do not believe that Nintendo or Smash Brothers will ever be a full-time thing for anyone. And I'm not saying that to be negative.
For at least the moment. Because,
I'm not saying that to be negative. I'm just saying it because it's honestly what I fucking think. I'm not saying that to be a dick, but who knows? Future's an open book. So,
in that just branch out, do a YouTube channel too. Like, it's not like
they have to. And
that's what I mean. Like, that's the route. That's the only route you got.
A lot of them are not even entertaining fucking people. Some of the Smash top players have zero fucking personality, and they stream and say nothing, but they're good at the game, and they beat good players a couple of times, and so they get that. And they're not entertaining. Some of them aren't. I'm sorry.
I have a question.
What's your question, Dennis?
Does Mewtwo King stream at all? Or does he do... Okay, but is he... since going off of your point of... how most Smash players just are not like entertaining like people, or like at the very least like not entertaining to watch like on
I didn't even say most, I said some.
Okay, so where would he be?
Some of them are very
I'm just curious.
Well, the thing is he's autistic, and so sometimes he could like sit there and say nothing for long periods of time, and sometimes his brain can be on overload, and it's funny.
Oh, okay.
In a good way. In a good way.
Okay. All right.
Mewtwo King retired a very long time ago. He doesn't compete anymore. He only streams now.
He only
actually.
streams? Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So what a lot of them do. Same with Armada.
I mean, wasn't he like the top of his game by the time he retired? He was literally
not when he retired. When he retired,
not when he retired.
When he retired, he had not been number one in a very long time.
Oh, so he was not the Khabib before, like, he decided to retire.
He was not the Khabib before the kebab. If that's what you're asking.
He's kind of sounds like a bit of anyone who's like a UFC fan out here. Like, I mean, McGregor is like not really close to retiring yet, but like, he right now in his career, he's getting to the point where he likes to talk the talk, but he's had some really bad defeats. Like not like too many, but the defeats that he's had have been pretty bad.
And like he's threatened one too many players' wives.
Mewtwo King?
Well. No, McGregor.
Oh,
no, what the fuck?
I was like, damn, I didn't think Mewtwo King was like that, like shit.
Oh, I was talking about McGregor who gets too salty when he loses his fights.
It'd be mad funny too. Like Mewtwo King be mad quiet, and then all of a sudden he just loses his stock, and he's like, "I'm gonna fuck your wife."
It's a good thing most of them don't have
so
wives.
Out of pocket, out of nowhere. You just be like, "It's like, yo, I didn't know Mewtwo King was like that."
It's a good thing most of them don't have wives. Yeah. And this says, in that spirit, we've created guidelines for individual organizers to follow. I'm reading the thing again. They're for individual organizers to follow when hosting not-for-profit, small-scale community tournaments involving games for which Nintendo owns the copyright. Please familiarize yourself with the guidelines below before planning a community tournament. Community tournaments are maybe operated by individuals, organizers, for individuals participating in tournaments, participants, and the individuals viewing tournament spectators, provided that these guidelines are followed. The community tournament is small scale and not for commercial profit. The tournament may use Nintendo game footage or images under the following conditions. Organizers may show footage of tournament gameplay at in-person community. Organizers may use captured footage or screenshot of Nintendo games, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so there's like a list of questions, right? There's a list of questions that they listed down here. You see all this? And some of this is the stuff that people are freaking out of because Nintendo's implementing a lot of rules here that apparently we have to follow because they own the copyright to the game that we play or something, which makes no sense to me considering that they're all games that we purchased and already own, and therefore is something we should be able to do our own with. I don't understand what the law is there, or if Nintendo really does have the legal jargon.
The year of our Lord 2023, you don't own anything. Remember that?
I do remember that. Yes.
This is basically Nintendo putting that into practice, and on paper at least saying that, oh, you may have bought the game, but the game is ours, so you need our permission to essentially play it in any sort of like kind of public setting. Which, I mean, I'm no lawyer, but pretty sure a lawyer could probably explain in their lawyer speak about how that's perfectly legal and it's within like Nintendo's legal right. Again, guys, we don't deal with facts on this. I'm talking out of my ass about this right now. But
yeah, I think next. Go ahead.
No, it's just like I was just gonna say, like, as far as like this goes, it's like I'm surprised and also not surprised that they're doing this because,
okay,
again, like legally, yeah, like Nintendo could do whatever the fuck they want.
Here is the one that they're freaking out about. I think it's best that we go through these questions like one-on-one here and like just click them and go to the answer. But I'm actually going to start with question number 3 here because this is the big one that people are freaking out about. It says, question number 3, these are the frequently asked ones. What are some of the tournaments that are not permitted by these guidelines, by Nintendo's new guidelines? And let's just go through this list real quick because it is a doozy. Tournaments that are not permitted by these guidelines include, but are not limited to, for-profit tournaments.
Keep going. Read off all of them.
Oh, you want me to read off all of them first?
Yeah.
Okay. Online tournaments that collect admission fees from spectators. Tournaments that make it a condition of entry in tournaments or viewing tournaments to subscribe to or follow a YouTube channel, an X account, yeah, I know, or any other streaming channel. I mean, YouTubers have, maybe, but it's not a requirement.
I mean, okay. Like, I'm just saying, if that was a required thing, that's some fucking...
That's just a way to promote. It's just a way to promote.
But it's like, but like, the condition of entry is that you have to subscribe. That's like...
Well, what if the tournament's free? And then you don't even have to pay to enter, and all you have to do is subscribe.
but that's the thing. It's just the whole act of choice, though. It's like, you want to come in, you have to subscribe. I'll probably end up... but I'll also end up unsubscribing as soon as I walk in anyways if I don't give a fuck about you.
Well,
but
like, any different from, like, YouTubers subscribing to a channel to try to rake more people in, and it's only for a giveaway? How is it any different?
Well, I mean, okay, fine, fair. But
yes.
It's just like... Because I'm framing it in a way where it's like, okay, you're going to a club, right? And you want to go into the club, like, there's some hot shit going on in there. And the doorman, or the bouncer straight up tells you, it's like, no, sorry, you can't go in. Not unless you pay X amount of money or, do some X kind of sexual act on me. And then you can go in. It's like, just that, I'm like framing it in that way. And it's kind of looks really shitty from my point of view. Because I know it is like a transaction-y type of thing. It's like, okay. Yeah. You want to watch the tournament, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then you can go in to watch. Like, I know, like, it is like that, but it's like, unless it's your tournament's YouTube channel and not your fucking personal YouTube channel, then it's like, okay, like, I don't have a problem with that.
Well, that's what they are 90% of the time.
Okay. Again, because I'm looking at all this as like a guy who knows nothing about your community other than the pedophilia. So, like,
God.
Good.
Realize there are gonna be smashers listening to this who are like taking what I'm saying or like, are looking for some answers here. And Dennis, I need you as a professional outsider of the Smash community to fucking
I am the greatest Smash journalist there is. Because I have nothing to do with your fucking community. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, y'all should see my fucking name right now. Anyway.
Go. Yeah.
Here we go. Other ones that are not allowed are tournaments in which participants are paid a performance fee or other expenses. So people who win money from the tournaments.
So winnings.
Yes. Tournaments that receive goods or money from third parties such as sponsors, i.e. a lot of them. Because that's how Smash tournaments make their money. Because you know where that money don't come from? Daddy N.
Oh, and this last one too. Jesus.
Yep. Tournaments involving the sale of food, beverages, or merchandise. Please note that Nintendo does not currently grant permission for individuals to organize commercial tournaments. We ask for your understanding.
I love how they also mention, like, please note that Nintendo does not currently grant permission for individuals to organize commercial tournaments. So it's like, it kind of makes me think, like, did they already have this stance before they wrote this out?
Well, you remember the whole Smash World Tour thing falling down and, like, the Panda Global shit and whatnot, because, like, there was a whole bunch of jargon with that where, like, one side was blaming the other, like, two tours existing at the same time, which was fucking stupid as hell. I always said it was stupid as hell, but whatever. Everyone's like, Smash is in such a good spot, and like it's insane how hyped people were that how good of a spot people said Smash was in, and then next year we are here, lower than what it seems like it's ever been. It's ironic, truly, and a big part of the reason is because there are some people who wanted it to stay grassroots, people who didn't trust Panda Global, like I didn't either, but at the same time, the thing is, from the sentiments of the tournament organizers who have spoken out about it, Nintendo was going to do this anyway. So Panda Global partnering with them was just trying to, like, they got accused of being the ones who were, like, making, tournaments requiring people to have licenses to be able to run them, because that's what this is. Like, you're going to need a license from Nintendo, and, like, you have to follow all these stupid fucking rules. Yeah. And everybody blamed Panda Global for that. In retrospect, it seemed like Nintendo was probably going to do that anyway, and that Panda Global was just trying to play ball, and that VGBC was just kind of against that and, was doing their own thing, and so they just shut down their own thing out of fear of being cease and desisted by Nintendo, which they have been before. It's incredibly complicated, and it all happens on fucking Twitter, which just makes everything worse because communication is terrible. But point is, these guidelines right here, and I'll put them on screen right now, I mean, if they weren't on screen before already, these guidelines is the biggest one I'm seeing on Twitter that people are freaking out, because everything that you see here is just a Smash tournament. For-profit tournaments? I mean, granted, tournament organizers don't make money anyway. They really don't often see a return. They very much operate in the red out of passion for the game. But sometimes they do take some stuff home. And of course, tournaments in which participants are paid a performance fee, that's part of the competition of any professional setting or environment. Third parties, such as sponsors, that's how Smashers get any semblance of money at all. When we still have people who are willing to fucking, like, sponsor this shit on top of all that. And then the sale of food, beverages, or merchandise. People get hungry when they're at these things. Of course that's gonna fucking happen.
No, does that mean that not even booths are gonna be around then?
That's the idea.
So they're gonna be trying to rent venues the size of the ones that I seen you at. And it's just gonna be solely nothing but just stage, chairs, game, and that's it.
Seemingly. In the corporate world, I should say.
Boring.
Boring as hell, right? Boring. Vendors, all the merch I got, that Daisy print, I bought all that shit at, like, Smash
print
Tournament.
you got me.
The Waluigi print, I got you.
The flasks, which I still have not picked up yet, but
Yeah, the flasks as well. Yeah, humongous shout-outs to... Fuck, I don't remember the organization that made the... I don't remember, like, the company that made the flasks. Shit. All right, I'll try to remember it later.
Okay.
This is the one that people are freaking out about because this is the rule that would effectively, if put into place, people are saying would effectively kill Smash, just kill the community. And I kind of don't blame them for going to a little bit of DEFCON 1 here on this front, because if all this stuff is legit and is somehow enforced, which is what I'm optimistic about, because I don't see how a lot of the shit that Nintendo says in here could be practically enforced in case they come in and take our fucking televisions away from us. This is the one that people are freaking out about, because this is all just basic humanity stuff. And it's important thing to remember here is that a lot of these rules already are in place retroactively in the Japanese Smash scene. It costs 2,000 yen to enter a tournament over there, and it has to cost 2,000 yen as per government guidelines. $13 basically. And as well as tournaments, I believe, can't always supersede... Well, no, this is the new one. They're saying that tournaments can't supersede 200 entrants. If they do, you need a license for it. And you need to follow these rules. Below that, you don't. But majors always have over 200 entrants. There have been Smash tournaments that have had thousands of entrants before. Basically, it means we need over 200 entrants in a tournament. We ought to follow Daddy Nintendo's rules. And some of these rules were actually already, fun fact, in place at Japanese Smash Brothers tournaments, because in Japan, they actually have very, very, very strict gambling laws. You actually are not allowed to compete in things like esports over there for money. The winner of EVO Japan, the biggest tournament in Japan, and I think it might have been the biggest Smash Ultimate tournament at the time, won a controller.
You could sell the controller.
Yeah, imagine. Like, there's literally the one...
That's still money. I mean,
it is the one and
something.
only golden, like, Smash Brothers themed Pro controller and stuff that Sakurai gave the guy, I think. So, yeah,
I mean, it's worth something.
Could have sold it at least. So, some of this stuff is like a lot of, like, Nintendo, the things that people hate about Nintendo. It's not the creatives, it's not the game developers, it's not even necessarily Nintendo of America. It's the corporate Japanese stuffy suit businessmen culture clashing with the West here. And this is among the biggest ones here, is because some of them are Japanese rules that are impacting over here. Bit of a culture shock, don't you think? Well, I'll tell you, over in Japan, they have vending machines with alcohol in them, and it's a fucking trust system that they use.
Or panties, you can get panties too.
Yeah.
They have vending machines for everything, really, over there.
And it's a trust system. Teenagers can walk up and just get it.
Yep.
And they just trust them not to do it. And apparently it works! Imagine if we did that shit here. Imagine if we fucking tried that shit here.
The American, like, just sense would just not be able to fly with something like that. Like, you remember how, like, you know, for a while, like, everyone started to get those rental electric scooters around, like, a lot of cities? And, like, the town just sort of, like, you know, was kind of hoping, just don't steal these scooters. Yeah. I can't tell you how many times I've seen where I've passed by through parks where there were like literally 20 to 30 scooters, and it's like down to 5 because people legit stole them.
I think you're talking about like the hippie towns, right?
Not even like I suppose, but like I remember even like the Citibank bikes over in New York.
Yeah,
those got easily hacked, like very easy, and people literally just stole them off the racks and just like fucking just literally legit like just stole a bike. It's like, oh, I got a free bike by being part of Citibank. So I mean, you know, it's just the trust system. It works in some places, a lot of places it just doesn't.
I've been to Piermont, man, which is a very, very hippy dippy town right on the water. They got those communal scooters. All the houses are like literally like little mini college dorms. You know, definitely the kind of town where you go to and like, yeah, they have orgies at least twice a year. And I'll tell you, they had those too. Beautiful town, though, I gotta say. I used to go there when I worked for Jersey Direct. Idyllic in that way. It's like It's like right below like Nyack. You get to drive on the Grand View on Hudson, which is this beautiful elevated like view of the Hudson River. It's probably expensive as all fucking fuck to live there, but you know what I'm getting at. So, question number 2. Is Nintendo game logos and character images acceptable to promote community tournaments?
I was reading this a little bit before.
Yeah. Is it also permitted to use images from Nintendo games to decorate the venue, or to use music, sound effects, etc. from Nintendo games as background music at the venue?
Can I read this answer?
I.e. every single fucking Smash tournament. So Dennis, if you could actually answer this question for me, because I don't know the answer.
No, it is not permitted to use Nintendo game logos, character images, game images, music, or sound effects for community tournament promotions, venue decorations, or venue background music. However, you are permitted to use footage and screenshots captured from Nintendo games for promotional materials for your tournament.
That's fucking disgusting.
That's wow.
That's so tone deaf.
Not even like fair use in there at all. It's just no, you're not allowed to use it.
Dude,
that's crazy, man. That's crazy.
The game? What about like the graphics on stream? When you put the characters next to each other. When you go to SmashCon, which can't even be called SmashCon no more because you're not allowed to have the name in there as well. You're not allowed to have the name of Smash in there on top of that. Fucking, they got banners of like all the characters everywhere.
Nope, can't have those no more.
This is insane to implement and affect, and I'm kind of getting nervous the more I read it. Like, if they're really serious about having this be put into effectiveness on November 15th, as it says in here, this would effectively killed the Smash community in the way that we know it if actually fairly implemented, which is why I kind of have a gut feeling that it's not going to go the way that both the Smash community and Nintendo thinks it's going to go. I really don't think a lot of the shit that they even have and say in here is enforceable. What are they going to do? They just send a fucking ninja to like stand there and you're putting up a banner and they say no or whatever? Besides like ceasing and desisting, maybe, which I guess is a very real like threat. Yes, what's your question, Dennis? He's raising his hand in the webcam. Y'all can't see it, but...
Not really a question, but I could see some tournaments who decide, like, oh, like, fuck this. I'm not gonna follow. This is dumb as hell. Like, they're not gonna be able to reinforce this. And the more I thought about what you said about that, I was like, you know what? He's not wrong. Like, talking about you. Like, I was in my head, like, he's not really wrong, considering, like, you know... This could be a classic case where it's like, okay, we wrote it in the law, but we honest to God, we can't really do anything to actually enforce it. And the only historical sort of kind of, I guess, example I have of that is the Prohibition, where, yes, the Americans did sign that into law. That alcohol or distribution of alcohol, selling of alcohol, like anything, just anything related to alcohol.
I bet that made crime so much better, right, Dennis? Didn't we solve crime because of that when we made alcohol illegal, and it totally didn't make every crime worse?
But David, now imagine speakeasy Smash tournaments. Be some wild shit, I bet.
I've been to speakeasy Smash tournaments.
Oh yeah, you went to one in the bathroom. I forgot. Yeah. You're right.
I wasn't even talking about that. I was talking more about like Smash
that was
and
one
Splash.
Hell of a speakeasy ass looking Smash tournament. Not gonna lie.
Smash and Splash.
Smash and Splash, yeah.
Oh well, dude. Remember, that's the one where like things got bougie in the hot tub, and like, you know. Yeah,
no, I know. What I'm getting at though is that like
Malfiji in this bougie bitch.
Going back to like my little historical point there. Like again, the United States government wrote that into law and even thought that, for one, people will be following it. People will be following it. Like the good old US people of the USA would be on board with all this dumb shit that they just signed into law. And number two, that they even had the budget to even like reinforce this. And I'm gonna go to my conclusion now, where it's like, I truly also feel like, going off of what you said before, there's just no way. There's no way that they can reinforce this across the board. Not even just, I'm even saying the US. I'm talking Europe too. They need 2 whole continents to be on board with this.
Yeah. Japan is different. Japan is different because they have actual government laws, not Nintendo. Government laws saying you can't be competing in these tournaments for money. That's not a Nintendo thing. That's a Japanese culture thing.
You are asking 2 whole motherfucking continents to be on board with this. That is some massive overreach, even for Nintendo, in my opinion.
Some head-ass shit, right?
It really is, because it's like God knows how many like local scenes, even like local game stores there are. Like they're not gonna follow this.
They're doing the Disney. Well, the thing is, local tournaments wouldn't count. These are for tournaments that are for above 200 entrants. So this will mostly impact majors and some regionals too. To be honest,
any place that's gonna have to rent out a venue, essentially.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they all rent out venues, but ones that are gonna just pretty much big tournaments for the most part.
Yeah.
The exact rule is if your tournament is above 300 entrants for an online tournament. And
then you need a license.
And 200 for an offline, then you need a license.
Yeah. Okay.
So really, again, locals, like, how are you going to enforce that? On all the Smash locals, it's just a bunch of people playing a game in a room together. You're going to come in and stop that? Or a bathroom. You're going to come in and stop that, you fucking fascist? Suck my dick. Here's another question for you, Dennis. Is it possible to name community tournaments after a specific product, name of a service, or third party?
Community tournaments in Nintendo games may not be used to advertise or promote any entity, products, or services, or to promote any campaigns or initiatives based on personal or organized opinions, ideologies, or beliefs. Therefore, you may not use the name of a third-party corporation, organization, product, service, or trade name as the name of a community tournament. However, if all the individual organizers, participants, and the majority of spectators of a community tournament belong to a single legal entity or organization, the name of that entity or organization may be used in the name of the community tournament. Example, if all organizers, participants, and the majority of spectators are students of XXX university, a tournament name such as the XXX University, this is getting pretty hot in here, XXX University tournament will be allowed. It's getting hot in here.
We fucked with the wrong one.
It's like everyone just like plays naked.
I've done that.
You played Smash naked, like fuck naked.
Oh, yeah, dated a girl from the fucking Smash scene, and like I don't know.
Oh, okay, all right, okay, fair.
Yeah, I'm like one of the 5 people in the community that did that.
Whoever got any pussy.
Well, I'm talking no ones who picked up a girl at a Smash tournament, which is not what you go there to do. It kind of happens.
If it
sometimes.
happens, it happens.
If it happens, it happens. That horrible joke. Sorry, I've been talking to this Korean dentist guy too much. These jokes are rubbing off on me. All right, how about this one? Is it permitted to use... I don't know the answer to this. Is it permitted to use Nintendo game titles or character names in the names of a community tournament?
It is not permitted to use Nintendo's trademarks or IP in the name of a tournament. For instance, Super Smash Bros. Super Challenge or Splatoon Throwdown are not permitted as names of community tournaments. However, you are allowed to include game names in the description of a community tournament. To show which games will be used in the community tournament. Similarly, Nintendo's characters must not be used in tournament names, but you are allowed to include them in the tournament description to show which characters could be used in the tournament. I don't really get this one.
Yeah, what does that even mean? Like, is it another thing that's pretty much saying like, oh, you can't use Nintendo's trademarks or IP in the name of a tournament. So you can
write it in the description. You can't use it as the name, but you could use it as the description. So you can write
tournament
Super
organizers.
Fight,
yeah, Super Fight Night 7. It's like you're still your individual brand. Unless Nintendo tries to fucking patent the word super. Which would be
like the
insane.
Fine Brothers tried to patent the word react.
Iconic. I cannot believe that. The audacity of some of these fucking people. Nintendo's characters must not be used in tournament names, but you are allowed to include them in the tournament description. Okay, that's kind of like a nitpicky one. That's not as bad, but it's also kind of
Super Fight Night 7 honestly sounds like a hype-ass fucking tournament. I'd go to that.
Yeah.
Super Fight Night 7? Bro, like, I want tickets to that.
Okay. We want to live stream the community tournament on network services such as YouTube, i.e. how a lot of these people know about this, how tournaments spread, how the word gets out, how a lot of them make their money sometimes. What does Nintendo have to say about that? Okay.
For posting or live streaming community tournament related content such as videos and still images that use footage and screenshots captured from Nintendo games to personal accounts on appropriate video and image sharing sites or monetizing your posts, please obtain permission from the participants beforehand and refer to the Nintendo game content guidelines for online video and image sharing platforms in addition to these guidelines. If you decide to monetize your community tournament related posts, such as video and still images based on the Nintendo game content guidelines for online video and image sharing platforms, Jesus Christ, that's a mouthful, please be aware of the limits on the total amount of revenue that you can earn from your posts. As stated in these guidelines, please note that community tournaments and Nintendo games cannot be used to advertise or promote any entity products or services or that promote any campaigns or initiatives based on personal or organized opinions, ideologies, or beliefs. Therefore, with the exception of advertisements added by content distribution platforms such as YouTube, please ensure that ads, in particular third-party advertisements and logos, do not appear in the videos, still images, etc. that you share.
Okay, so what this one essentially means is that you can advertise with YouTube ads or like Twitch ads, the ads that are already approved by the organization you're streaming on, but banner ads, like the ones that are on the stream, like the commercials you make for the actual stream, you can't do that anymore. So you can't pick your own ads, you just have to like only receive YouTube revenue? That's not always enough or a lot, and also it's
basically nothing, in my opinion.
Sponsors, those in-game sponsors are how these organizations make their fucking money, or like can even afford to pay for these venues in the first place. I've thought about advertising DDE on those things before. Like, I've wanted to do that.
Can't do that now. By November 15th.
I can't do that. It's a shame we never did. I mean, we did it, like, local tournaments and, like, monthlies and stuff, but, like, beyond that.
Not big tournaments no more.
That's also dumb. I mean, that's kind of like a longer explanation of what they said in question number 3 of saying, like, oh, no sponsorships.
Mm-hmm.
Why even be involved with esports at that fucking point, Nintendo?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I feel as if now this is going to be really bad because the sponsors are now going to be pulling out. I'm sure they're reading this and they're just going to be like, oh, well, fuck. Like, they don't want to be a part of this now. Like,
they are reading this like a Twitter advertiser was reading Elon has just purchased Twitter.com, basically. And when half the advertisers left the site, that's what they're looking at this as.
They're also reading it the same way when fucking Elon said that we're going to be charging $1 per tweet.
Wait, look at this one. Question 10. Is it acceptable to use Nintendo products as prizes for community tournaments? Nintendo products may be used as prizes so long as the product is launched in the region where the community tournament is taking place. Please refrain from using unreleased products for promoting community tournaments as prizes. You can use our shit because we know you bought it and therefore can do whatever you want with it at that point. Holy fuck, but the limits on the cash prizes? Who the fuck do you think you are? Holy shit. It's insane.
Can I also just add, can I ask something real quick?
Yeah,
let's say, okay, now y'all have to go into doing speakeasy tournaments now, right? After November 15th. Like, can you just, like, would it be possible to, like, I like
that term so much, by the way, speakeasy tournaments.
I mean, this sounds cool.
Speakeasies
were always cool. They were always cool as fuck.
Dennis, you might make your mark on the Smash community right now. I'm gonna relay that to people and be like, this is what they're gonna be called, and be like, oh, who coined that?
This is the Prohibition era for all y'all. Effective November 15th.
Dennis from the Double D Experience coined that.
Right.
Yeah.
I ain't even a part of your community, and I'm making up terms for you all right now.
That kind of makes it even hyper. That like you were not even part of the community, and you like this is what you guys should.
I'm just
call
an
this.
observer to it all.
Yeah, but please continue.
But going back to like let's say like speakeasy tournaments now, right? It's like okay, if we're going to be talking about let's say doing speakeasy tournaments, you only like this is where it's going to be a bit weird because it's like even the way old speakeasies worked, where like only select few people were ever allowed in them, and like. It was very much like a bit of an
like the original clubs when you think about
exactly,
it. I never thought about it like that.
But it was so funny because even legit cops went to fucking speakeasies and had a drink. And it's just like, just proved the system's fucking retarded. It's just not going to work.
It was the memeiest, like,
era
law
of the United States.
Or amendment. It was, for sure.
Like, so, let's say we get into that era now. Of you guys doing speakeasy tournaments, and it's like clearly no one. Like, I mean, unless you're a bit of a fucking like a bit of a loser, you're gonna like whistleblow on a tournament to Nintendo. You pussy bitch. Like, you're just gonna be like, "Oh, Nintendo, this tournament has cash prizing more than $3,000. They're also like everyone's naked for some reason. This is not appropriate for for children. Like I don't know. I'd imagine like some speakeasy tournaments would do some wild shit. But like,
I mean, if it's a true speakeasy tournament, then yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, as far as let's say if it gets to that point where like it gets like. I don't even say bad, but it's like it gets to the point where like okay now like we have to like kind of do things a lot more underground than we did before. So like would even like let's say like they'd have to make like if they're gonna make this like the whole scene go underground now at this point, like would people like would it get like a lot more secretive now at that point? Like, I'm sure, like, okay, like, you'll still be streaming tournaments, like, of course, obviously. But it's like, I could even just see, like, flat out, most tournament organizers just not giving a fuck. They are united in basically completely disregarding this document. Like, flat out. Still having the banners up, still having the ads up, still having cash prizes up, and, like, just basically saying, fuck you and your shitty piece of paper, Nintendo. Like... I could see it going that way, honestly, come November 15th, because, again, you guys, I think this is another case of where, like, kind of what happened in Evo that you told me. This could be another case of where it's, like, if you guys just collectively, like, just, like, be outraged for, like, at least 2 weeks, I guarantee you that, like, at the very least, they'll backpedal on a lot of this shit. Because there is just no feasible way that they are gonna like just go out and like go out like Nazi Germany style and just stamp out resistance wherever it may be. Like I cannot see that happening. It's just not like gonna happen.
Yep.
For Japan again, it's different because they're literally like Nintendo's right there next door, so it's like they can't really do nothing. But at least for Europe and North America, two continents that are very used to doing their own way, like having their own way. And basically telling people to go fuck themselves collectively. It's like, I could see them just kind of like just disregarding this entirely.
I think so too. It's important to remember that with Japan, a lot of this stuff some of this stuff does get enforced because it is a government thing. It is a genuine culture difference. Like, their government is literally involved in some of those laws. The 2,000 yen thing, as well as the no cash prizes thing, that's been enacted in Japan forever. That's not new. Except they're now trying to force that on us. And that's where the culture shock sort of comes into play.
They're gonna learn real quick. They're gonna learn real quick.
This one is interesting to me. Question 11 and question 12, I'm sort of gonna merge them here.
Sure, go ahead.
This says the total number of participants across... Okay, here we go. I want to organize a large tournament with more than 300 participants in an online tournament or more than 200 participants in an in-person tournament. What should I do? Currently, we do not have grant permission.
I hate this little part they put in.
Individuals to organize tournaments.
We appreciate your understanding.
Yeah, it's obnoxious.
Fuck you.
That's really obnoxious. But they say if you would like to organize a tournament that exceeds the cap, please consider dividing it into blocks, as described in question 12. Apparently,
like, what is this? The Olympics?
Let me tell you. Apparently, what Nintendo is okay with is not a circuit, which they were originally, which is what they were doing with Panda Global before all that shit fell apart. Which, again, Nintendo was going to do this stuff anyway. They were just going to do it under Panda. It's not like Panda was fucking saving the community. Like, I'm not saying we were all completely wrong about that. I still never trusted that company. But regardless. So, but apparently you could divide it into blocks. You know how Smash tournaments work, Dennis? At major tournaments, there are pools. Everybody's in their individual pools as per their seeding. There's some top players in the pool, some low-level players mixed in and whatnot. They then graduate.
It's rounds of Swiss.
Yes. No, not even rounds of Swiss. We tried that at Smash and Splash 5, funny enough, and our pools lasted till 2 in the morning. It was a horrible fucking tournament. Yeah, the only reason the tournament was good was the alcohol and the... Yeah,
and the women.
I knew women, yes. But,
I thought that's what you said. That's why I said
that's what I was trying not to say, man. But, yeah, this is different. Like, you know, it's not Swiss. It's pools, like double elimination pools. Then you graduate to top 128, the top 64, top 32, top 16, the top 8, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo seems to be okay with that only if we divide each pool up into their own separate tournaments and then eventually have them be like one big super tournament where all the top qualifiers get to. Which is basically a circuit.
I always just thought that was like a normal tournament anyways.
Well, no, the pools aren't separate tournaments. It all happens at the same tournament.
Oh, no, that's what I mean. It's just like, that's just the overall tournament, ain't it? Like, isn't that how like it usually works? It's like...
Well, apparently we have to like divide it up into different, like, apparently each pool has to be its own tournament now, Dennis, for it to count. Otherwise, the entrant count is too high.
Can I also just say something?
It's such a stupid, weird technicality. Like, this says these guidelines permit a community... please, go ahead.
Oh, no, it's just like the cap they put on, like 200 to 300, right? For online and offline, right? Like, I know that maybe this might not be like the best comparison, but like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Just had like a championship series where it was up to 1,900 players at the fucking venue playing.
Nope.
And it's like...
Not allowed.
And like, yeah, apparently that's just like not allowed. And like, it just kind of blows my mind because, you know, at least... For Yu-Gi-Oh! It's a little bit different because at least their tournament scene, it's actually enforced and is official by Konami. But, you know, for at least Nintendo, it's just like they never had any experience being, like, let's say the primary, I guess not benefactor, but it's like they are the company that made the game, right? And so as Konami is like the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh!, it's like they never really had any experience like being not only the creators of the game, but also at the same time like being organizers or even like I don't even want to say like officials. Like I don't really know like what like kind of term I'm trying to get at here, but it's like
tournament organizers.
I suppose I suppose that like they just never had any experience being in tournament organizers of any capacity at all, and they're already going for some crazy strict guidelines that is just like not fun for anybody really. And again, they're gonna have trouble enforcing this because again, people are just gonna say go fuck yourself at the end of the day. Like,
yeah. And this confirms what I'm saying, by the way. Apparently, you're not allowed to have, like, Block A and Block B if they count to over 200 entrants. You have to have them on separate days. So this would literally kill majors. Because then they would have to rent venues out for multiple days on end with the money that they're not getting from fucking sponsors because we can't have sponsors.
But just even financially speaking, like, renting out a venue even for more than one day is insane.
A major would last for a fucking week! Like,
that'd be pretty hype. It'd be pretty hype though. It's
It'd be pretty hype if not fucking stupid and completely unpractical and unaffordable.
But it's like imagine like it's just like the fucking how like the World Cup and the Olympics be? Like it's like a whole like week to 2 week long like event where like everyone's just like watching all like the different matches or events like thing that are going on. It's like they're trying to make it like, well, I mean not really, but because like they're just really trying to kill like majors in this sense. But it's like like feasibly speaking, like I remember even just reading up sometimes about how much it costs to even rent like one single venue. And it's a lot of fucking money, man.
Smash tournaments is raw passion. It's raw passion. Yeah. Like these organizers don't make fucking money. Smash casters they get paid in clout. And not even like real world clout. It's fucking Smash clout. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Which ain't gonna go that far other than your own community, I suppose. But,
like I got bills, bitch. Like that shit's not gonna fucking shit's not gonna pay for like the fucking like 3 different like separate like, you know, phone car holders that I had to buy today.
What you just said also reminded me of how like a lot of like big bands, like before like a lot of them became big, like they were like very underground and everything, and everyone loved them for that. And then the moment they actually got picked up by a label, everyone called them sellouts. It's like, bro, like, come on. I have bills to pay,
what do you want?
Yeah,
That was that's what happened with Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
People were so mad at Rage Against the Machine, dude, and it's like, shut the fuck. Oh no, that wasn't it. With Rage Against the Machine, like they were like, there was a lot of anti-Trump stuff.
Was it not them?
No, it was anti-Trump stuff at their concerts and whatnot, and there were like some Trump fans that got like pissed, and they're just like, yo, you've been coming to these anti-fascist shows forever, and like you're mad that we don't
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Trump. It goes to show that those people are not. Some people aren't real. And here's this one. We're not even touching upon the fact that getting a license from Nintendo will take upwards of weeks to sometimes even longer. It's like a matter of like time as well. Here's this one. Question 14. How can legal entities or organizations host game tournaments using Nintendo games? For a corporation or organization to conduct a game tournament using Nintendo games, the corporation or organization must make a separate application to Nintendo and obtain permission to conduct the game tournament prior to announcing a tournament. A Nintendo license number will be assigned to the game tournament that Nintendo is separately licensed, so they're going to keep track of us like with fucking barcodes. That's cool. Like literally like we're fucking controllers hanging on the wall at a store. It is up to Nintendo's sole discretion whether or not a license will be granted to a corporation or organization. Cool, fucking cool. If you are a legal entity or organization wishing to host a game tournament using Nintendo games, please submit an application for a license to use Nintendo games to your tournament. Guys, I'm not afraid. You remember when Nintendo tried to do this with content creators, take 90% of the revenue and only say that you can play this specific amount of games that will promote us? You remember the fucking Nintendo content creation program? That fucking unfucking believable joke that they tried to actually put out there? This is the same thing.
They're just trying it again.
Smash Twitter, you know, likes to freak out about shit. If it's not this, they'd be crying about Steve or some shit they pretend to care about. But this I can actually understand them being upset about, such as question number 15, Dennis. I'm gonna let you read this one, actually. How can I host a game tournament using Nintendo games as part of a charity activity at my high school? How can they do that, Dennis?
I'm already sad reading this, not gonna lie.
Read it out loud. Please project out loud for the class.
For students to host a game tournament using Nintendo games as part of their school's charity activities, the school to which the student belongs must make a separate application to Nintendo to obtain permission to conduct the game tournament. Any game tournament that Nintendo has separately licensed will be given, oh my god, a license number by Nintendo. Please visit here and apply.
Dennis, there's no link. I can't even click it. There's nothing.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. I was like, that don't look highlighted at all. Like,
no, they didn't put this was uploaded today. Like we are at the forefront of this, my friend.
I mean, I guess they'll put up a link.
You can't give money to charity
without permission from Daddy Nintendo. That's insane. That's actually insane. That's crazy, honestly.
Look, I'm still buying the RPG remaster, alright? Don't get mad at me. Alright, I'm still buying that shit.
Look, if this, like, buying games and this is completely two different things. I think, like, you know, Sony's done their own fair share of scummy shit, and I'm still gonna get Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like,
if you think I'm giving up on the 1,000-Year Door remaster because of this shit, you can hate Nintendo all you want, and I completely understand why. Yeah, you suck my dick, bro. I've been waiting fucking years for that shit. I'm not.
Same. Me and David, we both been waiting years for that thing.
I'll have tournaments for 1,000-Year Door if I have to.
It's even like it's just also two separate things entirely, though. Like
we're almost at the end. We're almost at the end, by the way. Like not even just for the show. We're like question 19 is the last one. So we're almost. Was this helpful?
Bro, I wish they had like, you know how like YouTube's got the like and this. Oh, they don't got dislike no more, right? So like I would have loved to see like it's just like a thumbs up or thumbs down counter of like was this helpful? And you just see like a billion no's.
Oh, that was so fucking funny.
Was this helpful? Can you imagine just framing it like this? It's just like, hey, by the way, we're gonna fuck the tournament scene. Was this helpful?
Oh my god. I'm fucking crying.
Honestly, that was a good laugh though, honestly.
That caught me off guard so much.
Was this helpful?
Was this helpful? Like, it's fucking Clippy comes on screen like, it looks like you are trying to destroy an entire community of organizers. Need some help? You should use stronger languages in your cease and desist letters. That'll get you more money. Oh my god, my face.
Yo, I want that to be the thumbnail.
Was this helpful?
Was this helpful? Let it be like, it'll be two images. It'll be the title of the community guidelines, and then right underneath it'll be, was this helpful?
Was this helpful? That's actually a good idea.
With a shitty thumbs up.
That's a good idea. Okay. Let's start reading these last couple of questions to wrap this up. What do tournaments that are illegally or inappropriately conducted, or that could be viewed as offensive or otherwise inappropriate, refer to? Okay, so tournaments that are illegal or could be viewed as offensive or otherwise inappropriate include, but are not limited to, tournaments that violate laws or regulations, fair, infringe on Nintendo's intellectual property rights, would normally be fair, but you guys are crazy, 3, use a false license number, oh, well, that's just that's the license number that they're going to give. That's the license number they're going to give to individual tournaments. They're putting fucking barcodes on us like a corporation. Like, oh, you were tournament, like, number 0473-247556. That's the tournament we were, which is so corporate and gross. Interfere with... There's no personality in that. Interfere with the proper operation or impair the safety of Nintendo's products or services. Okay, we won't break any switches, I guess. Involve illegally copied...
Winning the tournament breaks the switch.
Yeah, here's this one. This is the old one. Involve illegally copied or modified game software produced using Nintendo copyrighted material without Nintendo's authorization, or game software obtained illegally. Project Melee. Or HDR as well. Those were some of the speakeasy tournaments that you were mentioning. Mm-hmm. This one's fair. Involve cheating, cracking, unauthorized access, circumvention of technical restrictions, unauthorized modification or use of objects, tools, or services that enable such cheating, cracking, unauthorized access, circumvention of technical restrictions, or unauthorized modification. Okay. Sure. I'm pretty sure the one where we were talking about, like, circumvention of technical restrictions, that one's about video games, but there was also a time where Technicals did go into a tournament where he was banned to hold up a sign that said ban Nairo in Vegas. He was banned from the Vegas Smash scene, and Nintendo actually caught wind of that, the fact that guy was able to just waltz right in and do his thing, which is actually fair on Nintendo's part. Security at those things are a fucking joke, and I actually have felt unsafe at some of those things, because... there's some weird-ass smashers out there, man. Like, I don't want to think of the worst. I'm going to let Dennis read this one, because I think this one is probably going to be funny as shit.
Oh.
What exactly are prohibited items that cannot be used as prizes? No goods or services listed below may be offered as prizes at community tournaments. Dennis, why don't you rack off some of these things, and we'll see if we can get ourselves a good yuck out of these.
I'm going to try to go blaze through this, because we're coming up on time here. But,
yeah.
Items that are...
There's literally only 2 more questions after this.
Okay. Items that are illegal, offensive, or inappropriate. So no ahegao, no hentai, anything out there for all y'all.
Good. I'm actually happy Nintendo's stepping in to get rid of the fucking hentai. Let's go.
But the culture, no. Illegal products or services are those that infringe on the rights of third parties. Items that are discriminatory and misleading. So no swastika armbands. Can you show up, with those in the tournament? Sorry, guys. Gambling-like services, information products such as virtual currency and data. So
fuck you, no crypto.
No NFTs.
I'm actually happy about that one.
Political activities or advertising of specific belief systems or ideologies. Yeah, you could keep that shit out of there, honestly. No mentioning Israel or Hamas.
None of this shit happens. Anyway,
I know, but it's just like, any items or services that may prevent the normal operation of our products or services or impair their safety.
No modded switches.
Any activity that is damaging to Nintendo's business or brand. Fuck Nintendo. Goods and services provided by persons selling or advertising the above items or services. Okay, medicines or items that may affect your health or body. Damn it, we can't get the drug. It sucks. Alcohol, cigarettes, and other age-restricted items. How am I going to play without my Adderall? Oh, Nintendo products that have not launched in the region where the community tournament is taking place. That's probably happened, honestly, not going to lie. But products and services targeted for...
Daddy.
Products or services targeted for ages older than the age rating of the software used in the community tournament. Weapons and imitation weapons.
And you know they're big on that last one, because an imitation weapon is what was used to annihilate their former prime minister. So I don't even blame them for throwing that one in there.
You said, though, not like killed or assassinated. You said annihilate.
I don't know why that word came to my brain.
I mean, the bro literally got like hand cannoned off the stage.
Fucked up, man. And that ain't no like Teddy Roosevelt bullet like from the 1800s you could pull out of yourself. That was fucking buckshot. Like that's a little...
Yeah, for real. Like...
Jesus Christ. All right, but yeah, that's all fair. Really. I mean, none of that shit happens for the most part. I actually like that second to last one. They're saying products and services targeted for ages older than the age rating of the software. But again, we've never given out alcohol as a fucking prize at Smash tournaments.
Or hentai. Oh no, actually, well...
No, we've never given out hentai. Yeah.
Shame.
Well... Last two
doesn't
here.
sound like a fun place to be.
And here's the last two here, scary part. Under what circumstances would Nintendo request the cancellation of a community tournament? Nintendo may request the cancellation of any community tournaments in its sole discretion, including any tournaments that violate or may violate these guidelines or that Nintendo deems inappropriate. In addition, Nintendo may request the cancellation of a community... I don't like that sentence. Nintendo may request the cancellation of a community... They forgot to put the word tournament there, and it sounds like they're
cancel
saying,
the community.
Your community
has been canceled.
Like on Twitter, like they're just gonna go on here and be like, "Smashers are kid touchers for real," and then we're all just gone. Jesus. On behalf of a right holder or intellectual property rights other than Nintendo, upon receiving a request from such a right holder, blah blah blah, the fucking blah. Last one, and we're wrapping. I am planning to organize a game tournament, and I made an announcement about it before these guidelines were released. However, question 14 of these guidelines that I read and adhered to states that I would need to make a separate application and obtain permission to conduct my tournament. The tournament is scheduled to take place after the effective date of these guidelines. Do I need to make a separate application to obtain permission? Okay. Tournaments announced before the date or release of these guidelines that will be conducted before the end of 2023. You are not required to make a separate application to obtain permission. Tournaments announced after the date of release of these guidelines that will be conducted in 2024 or later. You are required to make a separate application to obtain permission. Tournaments announced after the date of release of these guidelines that will be conducted after the effective date. You are required to make a separate application to obtain permission. Was this helpful?
I want you to click no.
I'm gonna. Let's see what it says. Got it! Thank you for your feedback. Oh man. I'm throwing that footage in the YouTube, YouTube file.
Oh, that's so great.
I am not afraid. I know you probably think I'm laughing a lot at people potentially losing their livelihoods or like their passion here. As many quarrels as I've had with the Smash community, the very abusive relationship that I frankly have with it now as a 27-year-old man, and I regret the amount of time I put into Smash. I do not regret my time in Smash. It got me so much. The most meaningful relationship of my life. A job working for this company that you all hate. And you all hate now, but we all hate.
It's a love and hate. It's a love and hate.
We hate them because they spurn our love. Is what it is, in a twisted sort of way.
But we love the blowjobs that it gives us in the form of its games.
Yep. And the Mario Wonders.
And the Mario Wonders. And the Thousand Year Doors. And the RPG.
Yeah. Like, if we really hated Nintendo and didn't like any of their games, like, we wouldn't fucking be angry about any of this, but it's because we do that we don't. Granted, there are a lot of Smashers who do only play Smash. But, you know, I think that's sad. Like, you know, it's the amalgamation.
Games.
Yeah, it's the amalgamation of all of Nintendo's franchises, and you're not going to play any of the games that shit came from.
Or even play Mortal Kombat. Like, play a different fighting game.
Now's a pretty good time to branch out to other fighting games, I'll tell you.
I'll even say this much. MK1 and the developers, they want you to compete on a big stage.
I might not put this in the finals, but or in the final product, but I did get early access to NASB 2 and have been requested to make some content regarding it. In part because of the video I made praising that game that got like 12k views. So I will be doing that. Hopefully I can get another code for somebody so I can play with them. And if not, I'm just going to play the game and just make like, I guess like a thoughts video or maybe like a post commentary. But I definitely want to put some jokes in there. But either way, you probably think I'm being a little too lighthearted here. Again, I mentioned it before. Me and Dennis sort of not necessarily cope with humor, but me and Dennis greet life the right way sometimes, and like granting ourselves the serenity to accept the things we can't change and the things we can't, we laugh at. You know, once you realize you're not important, that's how you become important in a twisted sort of way. And in a very twisted sort of way, you know, like I'm just talking about like narcissists there, you know, you know what I mean. I'm just saying like, once you stop taking everything so seriously is when you can take the right thing seriously or blah, blah, blah. And you got to learn to be able to laugh at yourself and to be able to laugh at things in order to just be able to make it through. If you're one of those people who takes everything too seriously, I'm venting. I'm sorry. Fuck. You get what I'm trying to say. Point is, you know, you got to laugh at yourself sometimes and you got to fucking like, I don't know. If you think the worst, you're gonna, or expect the worst, it'll always, you know, you don't want your mind to go
It'll be a
path,
self-fulfilling prophecy at that point.
It'll become a self-fulfilling prophecy, and like, it's basically like being a comedian that can't take a joke about yourself, basically. You know, if you can't be funny. That's the key to comedy. You can't be afraid to laugh at yourself, and if you are, you don't have the right mental, you don't have the right attitude or fucking aptitude, frankly, for comedy. So, I'm not afraid here, because I really don't know how a lot of this shit will get enforced. This gives off the same energy as that, like, stupid, dumbass, like, Nintendo content creator thing that got pulled back. You know, I think there are, believe it or not, there are things that are bigger than Nintendo. And,
yeah.
If this shit actually gets implemented in the way that it does, I think there will be tremendous backlash, not just from Smashers, but from esports personalities and, like, content creators, and from even outside people as a whole. Those two girls in a Target that I saw that one time back in 2020, I didn't even think or know they were Smash players, but they heard about that shit because of how much it blew up. Like, they can't just
probably on the Twitter.
Yeah, probably on the Twitter. On the Twitter.
On the X.
I know it sounds corny, but as long as a bunch of people want to just get together and play video games together in a room, no corporation or entity can stop that.
Speakeasy tournaments.
Not even speakeasy tournaments.
Serve the alcohol, not for the minors, but yeah.
It's easy for me to say, because, like, I don't even go to too many majors. I went to a couple this year, but I don't even normally go to them. I would normally just go to locals with my friends, because I care more about my friends than the fucking games, if I'm being honest at this point. I'm not a serious competitor. I barely commentate Smash anymore. But my point is, I've seen the death of Smash many times. And maybe I'm wrong this time, and maybe it is. And if it is, we'll find a way to persevere. It always has, and I think it always will. And I'm not saying that to be optimistic. I'm saying that as somebody who's been in the scene for so long, and have seen this community been through all sorts of this shit. The Evo 2013 shit, the Big House cancellation, the Panda Cup, and the Smash World Tour cancellation, which was correlated to what's happening here and what we're reading in these guidelines. I just don't want people to get too ahead of themselves from Twitter hysteria, because Twitter loves to do that. It loves to spread and cause fear. But I also don't want to be naive either, which is why I express this attitude of taking things on the chin, taking things at face value, and waiting to see where things go out. I recently went to my first therapy session after 10 months, and it was I had the biggest, most groundbreaking epiphany that I had in that room in like some of the 10 years of therapy that I've gone to that guy, and he helped me learn questions about myself that I needed the answers to. And if I could find the answers to those, I think we can find the answers here. Again, not trying to just come off like purely optimistic. I'm saying it as somebody who's seen a lot of this shit before. No one can just take away a bunch of friends playing video games in a room together. And I don't even think Nintendo necessarily wants that completely here. I think they just want, like, control or money from something that they feel is rightfully theirs.
They're also maybe trying to see how much they can get away with. Because this is a lot that they're trying to get away with. I think, like, a lot of people will call them out. It's like, no, fuck you.
Yeah. So basically, me and Dennis I apologize, you know, you gotta, it's not that I'm happy, like, this is happening. Like, I don't want, like, these emotions to be confused, but, like, you can't just let the weight of the world get you down, and laughing at things sometimes is how you fucking fight that. It's such an important, joyous emotion. I want to make people laugh. I want to make my friends laugh and smile, and I want to make them laugh and smile in the face of oppressive bullshit like this as well.
Yeah.
I just don't want to make sure that's not being misconstrued as not giving a fuck, or like not giving, or not thinking this is serious. No, I do think it's serious, and that's why we have to laugh at it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm trying to say. We're done.
This is a long one.
It's an hour 16. I'm pretty sure last week's was longer. Which, by the way, last week, you guys gave a lot of love to that episode as well. You guys have been giving a lot of love to the podcast recently, so honest to God,
I need to look at that. Give me one second.
Well, at first it didn't. It was a slow build-up. It's got like 120 now.
Let me see.
Yeah. Probably because I put I put shirtless Matt Rife on the cover. maybe that's the fucking reason.
I mean, he is a good-looking man. I'll say that much.
He's a good-looking man. I can't say that. Extremely late bloomer, but like very.
He definitely got some work done. Let's be real.
Oh yeah, he used to have fucked up teeth. He used to have really fucked up teeth. He paid to have them fixed. I don't blame the guy.
That's fine. I'm talking like facial restructuring.
So he can look like fucking like handsome Squidward?
I mean, it got us views.
Yeah,
that handsome Squidward ass face got us views, man. We can't deny that.
Oh no, he's hot.
That's probably you when you were like talking about how like he has like straight up like hot guy privilege, and then the more you looked at him, you were just like, oh no, he's hot.
It's okay. Just try to picture Matt Rife naked. Oh no, he's hot. We love y'all. Don't let fear win. We're gonna wait this out and see what happens. And if the worst happens, you give him hell. And sometimes hell on earth is funny, like in South Park.
Because also reading it on X is gonna be hilarious.
Some of the memes have been fire. I can't even lie.
Memes are always fire when terrible shit goes on. That's the thing.
Oh, yeah. I can't even front. That's very true. We love y'all. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And if you want to keep giving the podcast the love that you guys have been doing, feel free to leave us a 5-star review on Spotify. It is 3 clicks on your mobile device, and only your mobile device is where it works. Please, it helps with our search engine optimization quite a bit, and it only takes literally 10 seconds out of your day. I will time it for you if you want next week, for sure. Listen on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcasts, and right here on youtube.com/Nintoonist, where you can subscribe. Expect a NASB 2 video, I guess, at some point in the coming weeks.
We got the early access. You gotta make one.
I gotta figure something out, I guess. Like, I
gotta write up a script or something tonight.
Brainstorm with Dennis. I haven't played the game yet. I can't write no script. Well, maybe I could.
Write a framework of a script.
Right, I'll write a eulogy for NASB 1. Yeah. And also, follow us on X at Double D Pod, as well as on Instagram at the Double D Experience 21. We hope you guys enjoyed this one. We hope you guys enjoyed this one. We hope you guys learned some stuff out of it and got to laugh at some of the shenanigans going on here. And remember that life will find a way.
I'm gonna get copyright strike. Stop. Amblin Pictures is gonna copyright your ass and he's gonna send velociraptors to kill you.
That's okay, I'll add lyrics. Holy fucking shit, fucking dinosaurs,
guys,
Jesus Christ, what the fuck?
Love you.
Holy fucking shit, fucking dinosaurs, Jesus Christ, what the fuck?